Welcome to You and I Podcast. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Jew.
If you are new here and you're looking for relationship content from a married couple, then you're in the right place. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. First, before we get into today's topic, we're going to hit y'all with a couple updates. We know it's been about, 2 weeks since we've put a video out?
About 2 weeks.
This is our second week, so we're like a week behind, basically. Forgive us. School just wrapped up for me, so all of my students are on summer break. I'm officially free at last. But we've been just trying to get into the summer swing of things and adjust to our new open free schedule. So we were we took a beat. But anywho, you want to give any updates?
That's about it. Yeah, we've been really busy. So now that summer is upon us, we're going to be trying to give you guys content every Monday.
Okay. At least every week, okay? So not Monday, just look out for the week. You know, I'm on my stay-at-home mom zhuzh right now. So I go from working all the time to in the summer, like I'm just stay-at-home mom, taking care of home. So anyway, today's video is going to be on Be Yourself. Our next video, stay tuned, is going to be on red flags in relationships. So if that topic interests you, hit the bell, hit that notification bell so that you can know when we do put out new content. Because like we just said, we try for Monday, but give us grace, okay? So just hit that notification bell so you're notified when there's new content. Shout out to our 2 new subscribers. We don't know who you are, but thank you for subscribing to our channel. Yes. So anyway, let's get into today's video. Today's video is about being yourself in your relationship and why that's important. I don't even know what caused us to come up with this topic. As we come up with topics, I kind of jot them down in my phone so I don't forget. But one day we were just talking, shooting the breeze, husband and wife, and I was like, we should make a video on that.
Yeah. So
go ahead, and he was really the one that started talking about it. So go ahead and do your thing. Since you came up with a topic, hit that first point.
So the first point about being yourself is you can't fake forever. So we know, like, when you first get in a relationship, you want to put your best foot forward. You want the person to see the best in you, all of the good things about you. But over time, that's going to wear off. So you can't keep up whatever you are doing, whether it's eating at expensive restaurants, whether it's if you're not a clean person, being able to keep your house nice and tidy day in and day out. Because I know for me and my wife, when we were dating, I was like at her house every evening after work. So of course that first date, everything was going to be spick and span, spotless, because you want to impress that person. But if you're not a clean person, over time you're not going to be able to keep up.
So we're trying to say I'm not clean?
No. So
I had to say that because that's what you're alluding
to.
This
is just an example. I just kind of threw an example out there. My wife is not a dirty person, but
I'm not the most organized. I will admit that.
Yes, but you're not a dirty person. No. But I just kind of just threw that out there as an example of one of the things that you may not be able to keep up. It could be a lot of different things. It could be cooking a gourmet meal where it's like, every night you might not be able to go all out. That first initial date, you might make the fixings, Thanksgiving, mac and cheese, fried chicken, collard greens, whatever it is. But are you going to be able to maintain that?
So for me, you can't fake forever. That means a lot to me because I felt like in previous relationships, I always had to compromise pieces of myself to make the other person feel better, feel comfortable. And that sounds really bad saying it out loud, but for example, I grew up in church, so I didn't talk about, like I should have been, I didn't really talk about God a lot in a lot of my relationships. I really wasn't even though I was reading my Bible every day and I was, I grew up with that foundation. I just felt like I didn't want to make my other person feel uncomfortable that I was with at the time. But that was a big part of me, and I felt like I had to suppress that. Even my language, I felt like around certain partners, I would cuss more and just like do things to like morph into that person, I think. But over time, it's just like you cannot keep up, like he was saying, you can't keep up with that forever. And it becomes draining. Honestly, it really does, when you know like this is really not who you are as a person. This is really not what you're about. It just really becomes draining, and it just really builds your relationship on a lie, honestly.
Right. I completely agree. Like you said, there's just a lot of different things that are important. Personally, I can't relate to not, like most of the people I dated were in the church.
Yeah.
So it kind of made it a little bit easier not to have to compromise myself. But then at the same time, I kind of grew up as like the black sheep as well. Like in high school, I wasn't the most popular person. I knew a lot of people by association. My brother was like very popular in the band, you know, knew a lot of people, and he's older than me. So I kind of knew a lot of people through association, but I've always kind of been the black sheep. Like I knew a lot of people. I wasn't a nerd, but I wasn't like the most popular person, like a jock either. So I really think I had a good balance. But then again, I wasn't in a ton of relationships either. So, but I do agree with what you're saying about having to compromise yourself.
Right.
And I feel like kind of when you're younger, you're really not looking to date to marry. You're
That's
just
true.
dating whoever. You kind of trying everybody, dating different people, and you're not really, you're not really dating and married. And I think that's one of the things that's most important. Like when you're raising your children and stuff like that, when they do start dating, it's like, could you see this person as a husband? Could you see this person as a spouse, or do they have qualities to be a father? Most time when you're in high school or you're younger, you're not thinking about those things.
Yeah, I would just say like, definitely like another thing that I experienced with this situation was like, you can't fake forever. Like there would be times where like I would, like my worlds would collide, if that makes sense. Like you can't hide who you really are from someone for so long. Like
you see sister so-and-so at the grocery store.
Yeah, like, hey baby,
sister
I didn't
Amanda.
see you. Sis, why she call you sister? That's not, I thought she was the only child. Like, so then it's like you kind of get put in awkward situations, or like if you run into a group of friends that you grew up with in the church, and they see you acting a certain way, they kind of look at you like, what's wrong with you? Like, because they know that you're not being your true, authentic self either. So like eventually your worlds are going to collide, and you're going to get put into uncomfortable situations. So point number 2 for why you need to be yourself is, if you continue to fake who you are, chances are you're really not compatible with that person anyway, but you won't really know if you are compatible with that person because you're compromising yourself. You're basically pretending to be someone you're not. And then because of that, the other person likes that facade that you're displaying, but that's really not you. So, you really don't know if you're compatible, but chances are, like I said, if you're faking the funk, as the old school people used to say, if you fake the funk, you're not compatible with that person.
Right. I agree. Like if you're faking, for one thing, I feel like you're not the best version of yourself when you're faking. And I told my wife this about like all her previous partners and my previous partners. It wasn't that the person was a bad person. It wasn't that you didn't have some compatibility with that person, or you wouldn't have been with them. The problem comes in is you weren't the best version of yourself. And I believe that, and I told my wife this, that I'm my best version of myself when I was with her, and she's the best person, or her best version of herself when she's with me, because I bring the best out of you. And usually when you find a partner, as far as compatibility, you want to be with somebody that pulls the best out of you. Yeah.
I was going to say like, or the person is just like a seasonal person, or they're not meant to be your partner, but they could be a good friend.
Right.
Like they might end up being like, there are different types of relationships that you have. You have, your friends, you have your associates, you have family members, and you have people that you're in like relationship with, right? So when you, fake who you are, sometimes you take a friend and you put them into a position that they're not really supposed to have meant to be in.
Right.
Even though y'all have because y'all may have things that you like about each other, or that like characteristics because all of my exes had something that obviously that we bonded on, whether it was a love of music, whether it was just like life of the party vibe, whatever it might have been. There was something that connected me to that person. However, just because you feel a spark between you and another person, that spark doesn't automatically mean relationship.
Right.
That could mean friendship. That could mean associate. Like, this is the person I go to when I'm going to have a good time. Like, if I want to have a good time, I'm going to hit this person up.
Right.
If I want to have a chill time, I'm going to hit this person up. If I want to have good conversation, I'm going to talk to this person. But that does not mean that we're compatible. So, be careful. If you feel a spark between you and a person, you have to kind of like, I think when I was younger, I was very impulsive. So you have to kind of like take a moment and like process the spark. Like, for all my young people watching this, process your emotions. If you feel something between you and a person, it's okay to take it slow.
It is.
Like, jumping head first is not always a good thing.
It's not.
So take your time, get to know the person, like, because there were several relationships I was in that I was like, this person should have just been my friend. We had no business trying to be in no relationship. Right. Like, we had something, but it wasn't a relationship. It was a friendship. So you want to hit point 3?
Yeah, so point 3, you will not be able to stay happy if you compromise yourself. And I completely agree with that as well. It's just because over time it's going to wear off, like you were talking about. And that's why personally, this is just me personally, when it comes to love and finding that person, I feel like you have to be a good friend with your spouse because you're with them all the time.
That's true.
So I just feel like, to me, the best relationships that I've come across, my parents, our relationship, people that's been married a long time, usually they were friends first, or they are really good friends. Or they have
like a tight friendship.
Friendship, right, a good friendship, because you have to enjoy being around that person. Like, I really enjoy being around my wife, and when you marry somebody, you're going to be with them all the time.
Every day.
So if you don't have that friendship, and I keep talking about that closeness, I really feel like that's why a lot of relationships, I feel like they don't last.
That's true.
It's because, when you're not yourself, from the beginning, it's hard to maintain, like you said, whatever you were doing, whether it was whining and dining, whether it was trying to curse and, trying to act a fool, whatever the different things may have been. I really feel like it's going to be hard. And then what's crazy about it is as you get older, you change. Because we're not the same person that we once were, when we first met. So I think
the foundation of our personalities are the same,
right.
like our moral compass. But definitely, like, the older you get, the more you change. Like, things that, you're just evolving into a different person. So if you don't have a friendship with somebody and you are only with them for that spark, like I was saying before, then it's going to be very difficult to maintain that relationship. It will be very difficult to maintain that that spark, because if that's all that you have, it's like that's all you're holding on to is that little teeny spark. There's no foundation, right? So it kind of bleeds into you're not going to be happy because there's all these other things. You have one thing, but then there's this many things that you're not compatible with. And if you're like compromise, spark, you're not going to be happy, right? Because the one thing is the bad is outweighing the good at that point. Right. So it wears on you when you faking for so long. Like I was saying in the first point, it starts to wear on you, and you get tired of always catering to the other person and their needs, and you're not feeling like your needs are being met either. So I would say, to wrap it all up, be yourself. Like, one thing that I found refreshing about my husband is that when I met him and when we started dating, he was authentically himself. Like, he did not care that, like, I like a little cocktail here and there. He doesn't drink, like, I was a clubber when I met him. He was not, like, he never had been to the club before.
I had been to the club, but I'm not a clubber.
He wasn't a clubber. And it was like once or twice.
Occasional.
Like, it was because his brothers drug him, to the club. So it wasn't because he was like, let's go to the club. Yeah. That was not why he went. So for me, it was just like, man, like, I love that about you so much, because I was like, wow, like, he is really himself. Like, even like down to like the things that he would eat and the things that he wouldn't eat. He was like, I don't like steak. And I'm like, you don't like steak? who don't like steak? Like, what man don't like steak? But he was himself. Like, he didn't try to compromise himself at all. And I respected that about him. I really did. And it really was like, dang, like, I can be myself too. Like, it was very inspiring to see somebody just be so authentic. And I was just like, man, like, if I was, you know, like, how many relationships have I, like, not been myself just to like, make someone else happy? Like, it was just very nice. So I think, what do you want to piggyback off that before?
Yeah, I think that was very nice. I never heard her say that. I mean, she said that, but not saying that. That was very, I like your little soliloquy. That was very sweet. That was very sweet. But I completely agree. I mean, I feel like we pull different things out of each other.
Yeah.
But I think that was one of the things, me being rooted in who I was.
Yeah.
But I think that there's give and take to that. And I feel like that's one of the reasons that I mentioned to you that I was not in as many relationships as you were in because I wasn't willing to compromise certain things. So it's like, it's a give and take. So people that's taking our advice, you guys, I want you guys to take this, you know, nugget that if you choose to like be a little bit more serious about who you date and a little bit more picky about what you want, it's okay, but there's like, I don't want to say it's consequences, but there are consequences to it because it's limited people in the world that are as serious as, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of people out here dating that's playing games, basically, is what I'm saying.
Facts.
So
that's facts.
They just out to get what they got out to get.
Right.
They're not really looking for a serious relationship.
Yeah.
And I really feel like that was my biggest thing was I wasn't willing to compromise. It's
Yeah.
just like, I'll be your friend, but why am I going to date you if I can see that you're not serious about really wanting to be with somebody?
Yeah.
You're just going through the
people
phases.
Just be being random.
Yeah, you're just going through the cycle. You're just going through the cycle. So I really feel like that's one of the things that I think when you do decide to be completely authentic, God has created, I believe, somebody for you because I found my person. But when me and my wife got together, we both kind of said like, we was done playing games with people. Like we were done. We both were like, I'm not going to, if I see red flags, if I see something, which was the next video,
check our next
red
video
flags.
on red flags.
But it's just like we weren't willing to settle. We were rooted in what we believe in, rooted and grounded in what we believe.
And what we believe.
And I believe that that's something we'll talk about in red flags. So you guys stay tuned about that foundation that my wife talked about. You have to have that foundation because that's the root of everything. If you have that foundation, then you won't settle for less, basically.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that I was trying to give you an opportunity to toot my horn since I had two of yours. Because I feel like, do you think I tried to change who you were? I thought you was gonna allude to that.
Okay, so yeah, let me allude to that. I didn't
no
catch
credit.
That.
I didn't
catch that. I did give you credit for thanking me for, but I did say that we both bring the best out of each other.
That's true.
We both bring the best of each other, so I'm not best version of myself.
You just weren't picking up what I was, the breadcrumbs.
Yeah, I didn't pick up what you were putting down, but yes. So I agree. One of the things that my wife did is she didn't make me feel bad.
Yeah.
But that's how I knew you were the one. Because even though I was rooted and grounded and I told you I wasn't willing to settle for less, you accepted me for who I was.
Yeah.
As much as you say I was authentic, you were authentic because one thing I can respect about you is you didn't stop drinking cocktails but just because I said I don't drink.
Yeah.
Because some people will try to change and morph themselves into this person doesn't drink, so or they will try to act like I don't drink either.
Yeah.
When good and well you know that you drink.
Like a cocktail.
Right. Or I don't curse either, or I don't whatever either. And that's not what I was looking for. So I do want to give my wife credit that she would allow me to be my authentic self and she didn't judge me for it. And she gave me a chance. Because I mentioned this with my wife numerous times is a lot of women wouldn't even give me a chance because they thought that I was too good or he's too serious or he's too different than me.
He can't keep up.
He's not going to be able to keep up with me. He's too nice or whatever.
Yeah.
And you gave me a chance to let me get to know him in a deeper way before I just prejudge or pre-notions. Okay, his father's a pastor. Okay, and make predetermined.
Right, and he can't. Think about that phrase though. He can't keep up with me. Like, keep up how so, ma'am? Because is that gonna make or break your relationship? Is that going to make or break if y'all go through a up or a down? Is him not being able to keep up with you? Is that gonna deter? Is that gonna crumble your foundation? I I think sometimes we get caught up on so many things that are so superficial. Like, we just use little phrases and terms that we've heard that have absolutely no meaning. No. He can't keep up drinking with you. What do you mean? Like, he can't keep up clubbing with you. Who cares? Like, I want a man that's going to be home when he's supposed to be home. I want a man that's going to be able to hold it down and ride or die with me through thick and thin. Like, who cares if he don't like steak? So what? And I think it was funny because I remember when we first met, or when we first got married, or like when you started meeting my friends, it was like, oh, drink this juice. Like, they were like trying to pour you shots and stuff. Like, one time we went to Dave & Buster's with a group of my friends, and they were trying to get my husband to drink. Like, they wanted him to drink so bad, and he was just like, I don't drink. And it was funny because I was like, y'all, I had to like literally step in and be like, he doesn't drink. Like,
you're wasting your money. Stop buying him shots because he's not drinking. Stop buying him shots. He's not gonna drink it. Like, and they got accustomed to it, you know, because one thing you just was like, I'm not gonna be peer pressured by like nobody, and I respected that. Like, that to me was attractive, and it still is. Yeah, so, I mean, you got to be yourself, and you can't let somebody else determine like what's you and what's not you. You got to be your true and authentic self. And I was not willing. If I wasn't gonna do a change for you, then I'm gonna change for your friends. Like, no. Like, it is what it is.
There's still things I be trying to get him to try though. I'm like, just eat some sweet potato pie, please. Just take a bite of the sweet potato pie. It's so good. I'm like, babe.
Let's end the video before they try to take my black card.
Okay. Anyway. If you enjoyed this video, like, share, subscribe. Please hit the notification bell, as I stated before, so that you can get all of our updates whenever we post new content. We also take our videos and make them into shorter snippets if you're more of a 1 minute video type person. So check out our shorts too. If you don't have time to watch the full video in length, check out our shorts, because I chop and screw it, y'all. And, you know, I try to pull out the good pieces and bits. So if there's a topic that you guys want us to talk about, put it in the comment section below, and we will make sure we talk about that topic within reason. Don't get crazy.
Yeah.
Because we both got 9 to 5s, and I'm a teacher, so I can't be up here talking too crazy. So with that being said, we thank y'all for watching, and peace.
She's Amanda, I'm Jew.
I always forget that part.
It's all right.
See y'all later.
See y'all in the next video. Peace.
Peace.
Wow.